Hello, ladies, and welcome to day one of the Perfect 10. I'm calling it the Pumpkin Spice Edition because why not? I'm just going to jump on that bandwagon. So I'm going to wait just a moment for some of you gals to jump on to this live. And if you're catching me on the replay, make sure you say hashtag replay. But without further ado, my name is Aubrey Worek. And in case you are new here, I want to say hello and welcome. And I want to thank you all for responding to maybe a direct message from me, maybe an email, maybe it was an ad that you responded to and you were like, hey, what's this Perfect 10 about? This free 3-day challenge, is it too good to be true? Well, you be the judge of that. Sometimes when we hear the F word, free, we don't have skin in the game and we don't want to follow through with it. But guess what? Not you. Because today is a special day. Not only is today a special day for you, but it's a special day for me to have the opportunity to kind of show you my style and to coach you through these next 3 days. And what I want to know is where are you tuning in from? So I live outside of the Pittsburgh area in Pennsylvania. The town that I live in is called Irwin, Pennsylvania. I also own and operate a pole dancing studio that's not too far from my house. By day, I am a TV fitness expert. By night, I try to be a loving wife. I'm looking at my husband. He's my right-hand man today, as well as a mom. And like you, I wear many hats. I'm focused on the busy, career-driven woman who is looking to improve her mood, mindset, fitness and nutrition habits. And that's really my purpose, gals. So Dan is my husband. He is my right-hand man. He's left-handed, but he's sitting right next to me and he is on his laptop and he is going to be monitoring for me any comments or any questions that are coming through our feed. So in order for you to play full out today, I'm going to have you participate because we're not just going to be sitting on our butts. We're going to be moving and grooving. No, you don't need any fancy gym equipment. No, you don't need any supplements for this program. And you don't even need any money to go through my Perfect 10. But what you do need is to put the blinders on and focus because we all have the same number of minutes in the day, the 1440. And what I am going to challenge you gals with is to be present today for 60 minutes. That's just 4% of your day. So any of those scam likely calls that start to come into your feed or any of the political texts or any rando text that comes through your phone right now, I'm going to have you swipe it away. Get rid of it because you might miss something good that's going to change your life. All right, so wherever you're calling in from, I keep saying calling, wherever you're tuning in from, drop in the comments where you be. And also, if you are ready, you better follow that comment up with a fire emoji. Okay, gang. So we're going to move on to some other housekeeping items. So perhaps you are new. You're a Perfect 10 virgin. What is the Perfect 10? Well, hopefully other housekeeping items. There we go. Okay, Dan just pulled me up on his phone. So perhaps you are new and this is the first time that you are going through Perfect 10. What you are going to need to do is download and save a copy of, yes, it's 28 pages, the Perfect 10 manual so that you have a roadmap to success. Today, we are going to focus on the mindset part of this because if you don't have the Perfect 10 mindset, then no diet will work. No fitness program will work. It could be the best thing ever, and it's just not going to work. Now, believe it or not, gang, I designed this program a couple years ago. I continue to perfect it as I go along, and I did this before ChatGPT. So I was proud of myself to focus all of the decades of research that I've been doing, working with hundreds and hundreds of women through the years. I guess if it's over 20 years, I guess we're talking maybe, is it thousands? I don't know. So I'd have to look back and count. But the Perfect 10 has been experienced by hundreds of women over the last year and a half. In fact, registered for this round of Perfect 10, we have 100 people. Now, once you download this roadmap to success, today, and if you didn't get started, you're going to need a couple things. You are going to need to go grocery shopping. All right, we're going to be talking about the perfect 10 grocery list. But I want you to read this sucker front to back. It won't take you long. Don't let the number of pages intimidate you or fool you, but your questions will be answered in this manual. And we are going to go over some of those today so that you feel that you can succeed and that you don't feel like you're going to be overwhelmed. Okay. The other thing that we are going to get ready for is to clear out the weeds in the garden of our mind. And I want your next comment in our feed to be, what is your biggest kryptonite? Now, this could be a food kryptonite. This could be a thought pattern that you've been telling yourself year after year, right? Like, oh, well, I was born with my grandma's thick thighs and I'll never have lean legs. Or something like, well, pizza is going to make me fat, so I just can't eat pizza. But then when you're around pizza, you kind of have like a panic attack and you start to make out with pizza and we just blow it all, right? I had some people message me and they say, Aubrey, I need to lose 30 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds, but I have a love affair with cheesecake. What am I going to do? Well, there's a couple different layers to you. And if it was as simple as to say, just don't buy the cheesecake, then poof, easy peasy. You wouldn't be tuning in. But there's a couple different layers to us, ladies. And part of my one-on-one coaching is to help women have that level of awareness so that in one instant they can make a change that can perhaps last a lifetime. So how do we do that? Get a pen ready. If you're not driving, you're going to need a pen. You're going to need a journal, or heck, just to grab a piece of paper. All right? And I want you to write this down. There are 3 parts to your mind. There's the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the analytical mind. So the conscious mind is what you are very aware of right now. You know, you see me as this talking head in front of you, or you're listening to me and you are conscious, hopefully, of the words that are coming out of my mouth. Now, your analytical mind is that part of the mind that will scrutinize everything, that likes to have everything factual. I want the science. In fact, I'm going to go down every rabbit hole of my mind to overthink things. And sometimes this part of our mind will create over-analysis paralysis, where, have you ever said this to someone? I know what to do, I just can't do it. Or, I eat really healthy, but I'm still not losing weight. Ooh, what's getting in the way? Maybe it's enter the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the part of our mind that is running the show in the background. And it's the part of the mind that we sometimes are scared to admit the truth. The part that we can run from when we're not wanting to be radically honest with ourselves. So today is the day that my hope for you is that you can play full out with me and be radically honest with yourself and with this group of women that have agreed to show up to glow up. All right. Can I get in the comments a thumbs up to that? By you playing full out, by you dropping me some fire, some thumbs up, that shows me that you are actively participating and actively listening, gang. And virtual programs are great until, you're like distracted. And then we're not putting forth the effort to actually get a little bit closer from point A to point B. Now, I want to frame this entire day around you closing your gap. Your gap, my gap, the gap. All right, and what I mean by the gap is I want to know where you are right now in the season of life. I need to get some Perfect 10 pens, guys, but I don't have any yet. But where are you right now? Drop in the comments how much weight you want to lose, or is it something different? Like you want to improve your gut health, you have brain fog, you are fatigued all the time, you are really ticked off at where you are. Fill in the blank. So I need to know where you are right now. And then where do you want to go in the next, let's just give you 3 days. Where do you want to go then in the next 10 days? What about in the next 6 months? Because I'm going to tell you something, the time's going to pass anyway. But what if I can help you close that gap? And in these short couple of days working together, I want to prove to you and hope that you can prove to yourself that change is possible and change can happen in an instant. Really, it truly can. And in order to change, you don't have to change all the things. It just has to be one little thing. And that's what Perfect 10 was all about. The reason why I created Perfect 10 is I was putting myself through different protocols that I thought, how can I help people better and faster? And it was to actually simplify a lot of things. So the Perfect 10 mindset is to help you simplify where to start. We're going to simplify your nutrition plan. We're going to simplify your workout plan. But I want to tell you how I closed my gap, and then I'm going to totally shift your physical state so that I can help you rewire your brain today. Yes, today. I'm super excited about that. So, all right. Pardon me if I look down at my notes. Dan, like I said, he's good at keeping me accountable and on track, but I hate when I forget stuff. So I'm going to just cross-reference these. So how I kind of closed my gap, I want you to know where I started. Now, I have been passionate about movement and fitness since I was a young girl. I was very much a happy child until about the age, I would say about 12. And I grew up as a dancer in front of the mirrors. And mirrors are great if you're a dancer. They give you instantaneous feedback on your lines. But what happened to me, there was a dark side to that. And I used those mirrors to compare a lot. And growing up as a dancer, we didn't know that comparison is the thief of joy. But what I was doing unintentionally at that time was programming myself to basically say that I wasn't good enough ever. And I started to choose these thought patterns that became very toxic. Now I'm going to spare you all the years that led me to my rock bottom. I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version. So from the age of 12 to what I recollect to about 27, I was hurting. I was hurting mentally with my self-concept, with my self-esteem. I couldn't articulate it. I just thought this is what the world is like. And I lived in two parts of my identity. I wanted to be this professional dancer, but then I never felt good enough. In fact, what started to happen was I gave myself an eating disorder because of it. To create that identity of a dancer, I thought, well, I would be a better dancer if I was less than, if I was smaller. And I didn't know much about nutrition. I just thought, well, I guess I kind of thought like thin people were born lucky. And it wasn't that I was fat, but guess what? People started to pick up on my insecurities. And boys would say that I was fat or I was ugly. And, you're young. Kids are kind of mean. And I showed this picture last Perfect 10 as me as a dancer. And obviously this person didn't have a weight problem. What she had was a mental issue, right? And so as I started to grow up, I developed, anorexia, bulimia, binge eating disorder, completely damaged my metabolism. I flashed a picture in this feed about 2 hours before I went live, and I gained, I would say I was about 30 pounds overweight. Now, some of you joining might say, hey, Aubrey, I want to lose more than 30 pounds. I can help you out. I've also been pregnant before, and that's another story. I did not bounce back from my pregnancy like other fitness professionals. But we'll save that story for another time. So what started to happen was I didn't realize all the damage that I did. But I turned my biggest struggle into my greatest triumph because I was determined to figure myself out. And through a lot of self-help, because therapy really wasn't a thing back then. I'm 45 years old. My parents kind of didn't know what to do. They were very confused about what I was hiding from them. And I relate it to that of a drug addict. So if any of you are struggling right now with your relationship with food, I want to say it's more than just your willpower. There's other things that are going on underneath the hood, parts of that subconscious mind that we have to reprogram, different emotions that we have to let go of, different addictions that we have to let go of. And I'm hoping that these next couple days that you can detox and give yourself that break to have a nice reset for your body. Now, I didn't do this alone. I struggled with binge eating for a long time thereafter. I started to lose weight. I did have a person help me. He was a personal trainer at the time. So his background was not necessarily in nutrition or with eating disorders. But sometimes people come into your life and you just have good energy with them. It's like the chemistry between any friendship and what I like to say the chemistry between the client and the coach. And that's why when I hold these challenges, I want you to get to know me. If you feel my energy is authentic to you, you connect with me, then you might say, you know what, this seems like a person that can really help me close that gap to get from point A to point B. Because the best analogy I can give you is this. We all think that we need to be so good at everything, and you don't. I guarantee you are an expert in something fantastic that I'm not. But when it comes to our health and our fitness and nutrition, we relate too closely to being our body. And gals, I'm going to tell you something earth-shattering. You're not your body. You have a body. Do we understand this?
We got some people who said their gap. Janet wants to lose 23 pounds. Nicole wants to lose 50. Stacy wants to lose 30.
Okay.
Denise wants to eat healthy and lose some weight.
Okay. Thank you guys. Okay. All right. So we have a little bit of work to do, but I promise it is the best work that you will ever do. Your you work. And drop in the comments the word yes if you are ready to close that gap. All right. This is signaling to yourself and also to your conscious mind that change is a coming and she already for it. Okay. Now, I want to relate it to how you're going to close that gap. Gals, if you don't have a clear vision, all right, then you are not going to be able to build belief in yourself or apply the perfect 10 strategy. And I'll tell you what I mean. So let's say you go to the mall. I have not been to a shopping mall in a hot minute. So I don't know where things are. But let's say I don't look at the map to say I want to go to Victoria's Secret, right? And I'm just meandering around the mall, right? Chances are along the way, I'm going to have a little retail therapy. Oh, maybe I'll buy a little bit of that, maybe this. Or I'm wasting time and energy trying to find Victoria's Secret instead of going directly there. Maybe you stumble across Auntie Anne's pretzels and you're like, that's not really conducive to my goals, but I'm really hungry. It smells really good. I'm not prepared for this. And I buy the pretzel. Oh man, I just wanted to go to Victoria's Secret and get a new bra. That's all I wanted. But we didn't look at the map. We didn't read the map. Or, you know what we could have done? We could have asked somebody that worked there that knew exactly where that store was. But we didn't do it. So we stumbled around. We wasted extra time, extra money, and maybe did some things that didn't match up with the end game in mind. That was me before I asked for help, before someone saw that I was really struggling with an eating disorder. that I was really embarrassed of because I was a fitness professional. My degrees in exercise science, I minored in dance and gerontology in college, and I felt like a phony, a fraud. But I didn't know what to do until I found who I call my first earth angel. His name's Dave, and he was a retired PE teacher. He took me under his wings, and he was the person who coached me for my very first fitness competition. And I will tell you this, I don't advertise my services to train or coach women for bikini shows or fitness competitions. That's a hobby of mine. I am a professional at it. I can get paid money for it, but I focus on women and their lifestyle, specifically women who are in perimenopause and in menopause. And what I do best is help them close the gap from point A to point B, to lose that weight, to eat better, to understand how to apply these changes that will last a lifetime. And folks, it's probably going to take more than 3 days. I'm not going to lie to you. But if I could give you just a little taste of my calorie-free goodness that gives you hope and helps you move that needle, then I'm definitely serving my purpose. So thank you for showing up. Okay, so we're going to start to change our physical state. And I'm going to give you my secret ingredient that will make sure that this diet, right, this strategy will work. If you miss this, it's not going to work. So I need you to play full out. If you are ready to play full out with me for this next exercise, your first exercise, essentially, I need to say yes in the comments, or, we can get some amens up in here. I'm okay with that too. All right. So in order to change your physical state, I need to tap into your mind. Right now, we probably have this monkey mind, the 60,000 thoughts that we're thinking every darn day. We call this beta brainwaves. As adults, we live here. And the majority of these thoughts are negative. Boo, boo. The majority of them are. And then guess what? The next day, we wake up, we rinse, repeat, negative. I don't want that for you. I've done different breathing techniques on these coaching calls. Today, we're going to do one of the most simple ones. It is called the box breath. Now, maybe you've done box breath with me before. Repetition is the mother of all skill, and I'm going to help you do this. Now, you can do this if you are listening to me and driving, but don't close your eyes. This one's safe to do if you are driving. I prefer it, though, if you have a seat, and give yourself the gift of lowering that monkey mind brainwave state. Lower your beta brainwave state so you can focus better, there's less anxiety, and that you can quiet the noise. Everybody talks about food noise these days. It's all noise. So let's start to get quiet with ourselves, to tap into our inner guidance system. I want to begin by just taking a palate cleanser with me. So if you're wherever you are, just kind of wiggle around, give me a little jello jiggle, a little good old-fashioned shimmy. Yeah, a little wiggle. Okay, maybe squeeze your butt cheeks right and left, pop and lock the booty. And we're going to swallow on our next breath in. So you're going to take a conscious breath, inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, you're going to swallow. Call that the palate cleanser. You're going to do that again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, swallow. One more time, conscious breath in. And exhale, swallow. Now, I forgot to mention, but I bet you already have this. If you don't have water nearby, take a sip of water. Along with the Perfect 10, you are going to be drinking a decent amount of water. This helps to reset your vagus nerve. Oftentimes, we are choosing behaviors based on the stress of that vagus nerve, and we eat things to kind of change the feeling back there. So now, we're going to begin with the box breath. It goes something like this. We're going to be inhaling for 4 counts, and I'm going to use my fingers so you can see the box. We're going to hold for 4 counts. Exhale 4 counts. Hold for another 4 counts. This is going to help, again, to lower those brainwave states and to get you out of your head into your heart. All right. Take a deep breath again. Exhale, swallow, and let's begin. Inhaling through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 4, 3, 2. Again. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 4, 3, 2. Bigger, louder. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 4, 3, 2. 2 more rounds. Inhale big. 2, 3, 4. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 4, 3. Last round. Let's go. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale 1. Hold. Hold and close your eyes. In this moment, allow yourself to be present. Allow yourself now to be open to change and transformation. Any thoughts that start to pass into your mind that are starting to derail you or distract you, allow them to drift away. No longer pursuing them. Relax and release your breath. Very good. From here, you're going to tap underneath your collarbones. Underneath the collarbones, these 2 little energy buttons are going to help stimulate your thalamus gland. And not only that, this is going to help to defray any type of energy now that's bubbling up that might be resistance to change, or from what people say, the A word, anxiety. So these are my 2 favorite tapping points that I do over and over again. You can even massage these points. From an energetic medicine standpoint, these points are called the K27 points. You'll learn a little bit more about that in the days ahead. We can allow the tapping to dissipate and just sit comfortably. Now, we're going to do a little exercise physically before we go into a visualization. I've got to switch it up. I told Dan we're going to switch it up. Okay. A part of the perfect 10, you are going to find along the way, at the top of your day, you're going to be writing 10 things down every morning that you are grateful for about your life right now. We cannot sit in gratitude and depression at the same time. So that is really important. That's why you need a journal, and you're going to write down your 10 blessings in your journal or your book that you have selected to do along with this program. The other thing that you're going to move through is the perfect 10 exercises. And the perfect 10 exercises, it doesn't matter if you are an avid gym goer or if you've never exercised before, we can make this applicable to pretty much anybody. Even the perfect 10 meal plan and strategy, there's absolutely different things along the way that I want you to ask questions that you can swap in and out of. So the perfect 10 exercises that you're going to do every day are going to be 10 squats, 10 push-ups, and 10 crunches. But today, since you might be sitting, I want you to try this. You're going to first practice just engaging your pelvic floor. So you're going to Kegel. So we're going to squeeze those muscles that stop the flow of urine, engage those lower chakras. And then you're going to take your sparkle fingers and bring them to your belly button. And as you Kegel, as you're squeezing your pelvic floor, you're going to draw that navel to your spine. Okay? And then relax. Draw that navel to your spine, Kegel, and relax. Do that again. Draw that navel to your spine, Kegel, and relax. The last thing that you're going to do is squeeze your butt. So I call this the trifecta of contractions. So you're going to inhale through the nose, exhale, Kegel, draw your navel to your spine. Now squeeze both butt cheeks. Gang, keep that contraction. We're not going to be getting a perfect 10 booty by sitting on it. So tomorrow we're going to be focused on the perfect 10 assets. Because for those of you who don't know me, I'm pretty much butt obsessed helping women get the best derrieres that they possibly can, regardless of their genetics. Okay, you can relax that contraction and get all jello jiggly with me again. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to do a visualization exercise. We're going to start to move on to the part of your mind that is really holding you back. And I want to show you a couple pictures. I showed you this picture of me. This was, I was 9 years old. So it was about the same age as my son. And that's when I started to develop these thoughts that were lies about myself. Okay. And, guys, we can look back at our lives and play the blame game. But if we're going to blame the villains in our life, we also have to thank them because they've also made us better. Right? That's what I've learned. Now, we're going to go into a part of our mind that we're going to time travel. And you're going to go back to when you were a little girl. So, without further ado, come along with me into this mental DeLorean in your mind. I want you to get comfortable, please. Close your eyes. Allow yourself again this moment to be here. Taking a nice deep breath, inhaling. Exhale, let out an audible sigh and say, inhale through the nose and exhale, sigh. One more time, inhale and exhale. With your eyes closed, preferably, I'd like you to conjure up your earliest memory of you when you were a child. I'm going to request that the memory that you are thinking of is the most positive memory that you can conjure up. It is okay if these other memories are coming in right now, if it's distracting or painful. Just tell yourself, I'm not going to pursue that right now. I'm going to really work to bring back a positive memory. The earliest memory that you could see of yourself as maybe a baby or a toddler, it's a picture in your mind. Go there right now. See this little girl, already perfect. She had a perfect 10 mindset. She wasn't worried about food or mood. She felt the love and support from her environment. She was curious to experience life. Everything was so new. And the reason why I know that you were perfect is that was your birthright. Give yourself this permission right now to see that memory and to see that little child. Taking a deep breath, inhale, seeing yourself as that little young girl smiling, full of love, light, truth, and peace. Thank her for that life experience. Life was different then. Now, that little girl's safe and sound. Allow her to sit there smiling at you. We're going to now travel to another point in our existence. So I'd like you to take a deep breath, inhale through the nose, and exhale, let out an audible sigh. You can repeat that as many times as you need to work on this next visualization. We're now going to bring ourselves to remember ourselves as a teenager. And at this juncture, this is where we started to change our brainwave states. Seeing ourselves now much differently. Hormones are different. People treat us differently. There's different stress and pressure. Start to conjure up, however, the most exciting time as you as a teenager. Maybe it was getting your driver's license or a first kiss. Any negative experiences that you feel coming through, just ask yourself right now, your subconscious, to not pursue that. I'm working on the good stuff, please. Taking this time to look back and smile at your younger self. Smiling in self-acceptance despite any of the hardships. There was positivity still. Positivity around self-image and body and food. Life was different then. Now, let's take another deep breath and allow that teenage version of you to remain seated, smiling back at you, safe and secure. As we take our next deep breath, inhaling and exhaling, letting out an audible sigh, we are now going to come right into the present version of us, where you are right now. Those two beings that were you, the youngest version of you and the teenage version of you, are staring back at you now, smiling. Have a conversation right now with those younger versions of you. And the conversation can start off something like this, is to say, hello, I love you. Outstretch your arms and begin by hugging that youngest version of you. I want you to pull her in really close. And she whispers something in your ear. And that something is, I believe in you. Give her that hug. You could put her back down. Moving over to the teenage version of you, you're going to outstretch your arms and take a hold of her and give her a hug, heart to heart, taking a breath in. And as she whispers something to you, she tells you, you are enough. I believe in you. Thank her. You can let her go back to her seat. Now, you're going to start to walk over to a mirror. Seeing yourself now at the age that you are, the weight that you are at this juncture in your life. Seeing yourself in this reflection. Perhaps there's things that are conjured up. Do you think, oh, I let that little baby down. I let that teenage version of myself down. Who am I? What have I become? I've never felt like this before. All these doubts might start to flood into your mind as you see yourself where you currently are. But that reflection is going to say something different. I want you to look her in the eyes and say, that reflection is saying to you right now, stop. Stop. And she says it louder, stop. I am a perfect 10. Now the version of you now that is looking and hearing that reflection might think that's a bold-faced lie. She's going to continue to tell you this and giving you the opportunity to change, to choose habits and actions that are going to prove to the young girl and to the teenage girl that they were right. Building your belief, building your acceptance of where you are, knowing that no matter how hard it is temporary, and that you have a choice. Stare back at your reflection. That reflection every day will stare back at you and say, stop. I am enough. Stop. I am a perfect 10. Until this version of you right now will look back at that reflection and prove her right as well. I'd like you to take another deep breath, inhale. And as you exhale, begin to visualize one more version of yourself, and this is the future version of yourself. 6 months from now, the time will pass anyway. In 6 months from now, the version of yourself that you see is lighter, freer, happier, balanced, wearing clothes that make her feel like a 10, thought patterns that confirm and give her grace and to say, you deserve this. You are enough. I am a perfect 10. That version of you 6 months from now is thanking you, the present version of you, for showing up, for putting in just a little bit of different work for yourself, and proving all those other versions of you that they were right all along. Now, my ladies, hang with me. Take another deep breath, inhale. And as you exhale and swallow, begin to tap underneath your collarbones. You can keep your eyes closed for this next part as you tap. The best work that you will work on will be yourself. And along with this mindset, you have a very important homework assignment that I call your you work to do today. And I'm going to show you how to do it right now in 3, 2, 1. Allow this tapping to stop and please open your eyes. Allow yourself to settle in. The most important thing that you're going to do to move forward with me is to do the stop sign technique. The stop sign technique was a technique that was taught to me by one of the world's most renowned hypnotherapists. Her name is Dr. Doris Cohen. And it's extremely effective. And we all know what a stop sign looks like. You just went through this visualization with me where I was saying stop. The reason why I said stop is because it stops those neural pathways from firing. The ones that were like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, and doggone it, people don't like me, right? Those silly thoughts that are lies, the lies that we believed, the lies that I believed about myself when I was little. Now, you're going to say, stop, I'm a perfect 10. Your you work assignment, you're going to have one every day and every night over these next 3 to 4 days. You're going to write on a Post-it note, stop, I'm a perfect 10. You're going to stick this sucker on your bathroom mirror, okay? So that every time you go in there and you want to trash talk about yourself, you're going to say, stop, I'm a perfect 10. And I'll tell you what, people, every time I run these challenges, they don't want to do it. But you're going to override that old programming. And I get it. I cried probably for a whole year, way too long. You don't need to be crying like I did for a whole year in order for me to believe that I was good enough, smart enough, and doggone it, people liked me. Okay? If you don't know that reference, it's an old Saturday Night Live reference, but if you're about my age, you should know it. So, all right. The other thing, you're going to put these little stop sign sticky notes. Also, I need you to do a little bit more. I need you to find a picture of yourself when you were a little girl, because guess what? You would never talk to this version of yourself like you talk about yourself now, would you? You would never do that. I want you to find, this is me when my sister was born. I loved her so much. Oh my gosh, I still do. Okay. I want you to put these sticky notes on spots where you are going to believe that you're a perfect 10, right? Because if I look at this little baby, I'm like, oh my God, she's so freaking cute. Oh my God, that was me. Of course, I would never say anything unkind about her. I would never call her fat. I would never have these terrible, terrible thoughts saying that she's not enough or not deserving or all these shameful things, right? Because there can be a lot of guilt and shame buried inside the layers of fat that we store, the troubled emotions that we carry with us, the things that we are ready to bless and release. If you are ready already to try your Worek assignment for tonight, can you drop in the comments, yes? I know this is the reverse image. Stop. I'm a perfect 10. What I will do, I will pin a post in this group where I want you to take a selfie of where you put your sticky notes. I'd like to see at least one selfie, but I'll definitely give you bonus points for more, because to the lucky winner of at the end of this challenge, you are going to get a coaching call with me that is more in detail than like a free discovery call. So make sure you do your Worek. If that is clear, that homework assignment is clear, then I need you to say yes in the comments. All right, gals, I want you to, now, if you can snap, I want you to snap and give me a little jellyfish dance around. Okay. Now, I hope that visualization was helpful for you. I tweak it every time I do it. So I would love to hear what came up for you during that time. Now, the next thing, I need you to get your pen and paper and your manual back out. The other things that you want to do today are follow along in your P10 manual some action items. It's not going to take you long, but remember, it's a part of your 1440. You're going to budget this time in today by taking your before pictures. This is something else that nobody wants to do. Do it anyway. That is the art of discipline. Now, I'm not asking you, to bake me a huge wedding cake within the next 24 hours, right? That's something you're like, no, I cannot do that. You can absolutely access your phone in your sports bra and little booty shorts, front, side, back pictures. It's just for you. These pictures might conjure up some emotions. I know they did for me. I didn't want to do that back in the day. But guess what you're going to do? You're going to let those emotions move through you and use that stop sign technique. Stop. I'm a perfect 10, looking at that young version of yourself. Maybe this young version of yourself didn't feel like she was loved enough, right? Now's your chance. Now's your chance. You can still give her the love that she needs. And it will all fuel you. If you are having difficulty with this assignment, I always like to pull up a picture of my son. This is him a couple years ago. I keep this on here. But it's really on the times when you have to dig a little bit deeper. Someone who's so close to you, make sure that you see their image in your mind as well. This is going to help you, again, reprogram those old thought patterns. It's going to take a little bit of work, gang. But you can do this work. I promise you. I've helped so many women before change their identity, after maybe years. Maybe all they can recollect is being overweight as a child. And now that version of themselves doesn't even exist because they did this exercise. Okay. After your before pictures, you're going to take some girth measurements. So you are going to need a tape measure. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. You are going to want to take girth measurements around your booty and your navel. Those are the two mandatory measurements. If you want to measure other parts of your body, please feel free, but that is documented in the P10 manual. You'll take the greatest circumference around your hips and the greatest circumference around your midsection. So hips and belly button. You will see in the Perfect 10 how to make sure that those measurements are accurate. I have videos for everything. And if you're becoming overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, I just got my manual, do what you can tonight. Do the stop sign technique. This program isn't going away. The free coaching's going away. That PDF is not. So you're going to do it. Don't worry about it. Okay. You will need a food scale because when you flip over to, let's see, page, I think it's 24. Oh, yeah. You're going to start to see the meal plan examples, okay? And you are going to have to measure. You cannot manage what you don't measure, and especially your scale weight. People freak out with this, and I used to too. but I'm going to help you separate yourself. Remember I said that you are not your body? Well, let me tell you, if that doesn't make sense, because it didn't for me, we need to start looking at your body as just, hey, this beautiful gift. You're not your car, are you? You're not your house, right? But maybe you take pride and joy in the car that you drive. You take pride and joy in the house that you live in. Think about your body. It's like, wait a minute, I have this earth suit. And if I just want to look at the data, that's what my earth suit weighs right now. And my earth suit's not operating with all its cylinders. Okay, so I just need to look at the data and say, all right, that's where I am. Where are we going to be in the next 10 days? Whole lot different if you try this technique. Okay, you are going to need some measuring cups, measuring spoons. We talked about having a journal for your daily gratitude practice. Those are required. Okay, easy, nothing too bad. Now, in terms of your food and groceries, I want you to read through this before you just say, I'm going to take this and buy all the lemons, all the water, all these things that Aubrey put down. You might not need / want all the stuff. Now, why the lemon water in the morning? Perfect 10 was based off of Anthony Williams' book, Cleanse to Heal. And it is a very strategic protocol that's extremely effective to cleaning and cleansing a person's liver, that resets everything, your metabolism, your mood. It helps heal your body. It's the only organ in our body that regenerates. It's an amazing organ. And without cleansing your liver, guess what? You're going to have a hell of a time trying to shrink your fat cells, trying to improve your mood, improve your gut health. So a simple technique is lemon water in the morning. Some people might say, well, Aubrey, I have GERD, or Aubrey, I have, it makes me feel like I have acid reflux when I do this. You can modify this, and you might need a little bit of raw honey in the morning or ginger with it. Just follow the protocol to the best of your ability. You can abort the mission or just say, you know what, I'm just going to have water in the morning. Okay. But if you can, have that lemon water first thing in the morning. Now, it has to do its job. The lemon water has to go through your digestive system that starts here, goes all the way out your back end, right? But it needs about 15 to 30 minutes. So do your best to not eat anything, not have coffee with creamer, anything like that. Just get 15 minutes of that lemon water to do its job every morning for the next several days of this challenge. Heck, I want you to do all 10 days of Perfect 10, but at least that you're joining me for the 3 days of coaching, the 3 days. After that, then all systems go. You have full permission to then implement what is called the liver rescue smoothie. Now, this was created by Anthony William. This smoothie specifically is documented in the Perfect 10. You might say, well, what's the exact smoothie recipe? There's a link that you have to click on, guys, and I can even post it in the comments. But it says, click here, the Perfect 10 recipe book, okay, on page 24. When you click there, you're going to see all these other recipes that I would say are P10 approved. It doesn't mean that you have to eat all these things. You can look in your manual and just keep it simple to succeed, where you're having lemon water, the liver rescue smoothie, which, by the way, is a wonderful smoothie. It's just a banana, some wild blueberries, and dragon fruit powder. And all organic is preferred. I do talk about organic in this manual. I also talk about the power of really detoxing your mind, your food, and your environment. So this is all going to help with the cleansing process. And it can be so simple, right? Okay, great. I get to have a fruit smoothie. Awesome. There's always going to be exceptions to the rules. If you're a type 2 diabetic, if you are lactose intolerant, if you're a vegetarian, I do my best in this manual to say you can swap out. If none of those apply to you, then follow the protocol to the best of your ability. And don't think you blew it, right? If you need to just say, boop, I need a redo, then get right back on and do it again. Give yourself that grace, because chances are you're going to do better with a program like this with some structure and some coaching than you would on your own. Okay? Can I get a heart emoji on that?
Stacy says, can I add protein powder to the smoothie?
Great question. No. So Stacy asked a question, can I add protein powder to the smoothie? Not for this protocol. For the next 10 days, and here's why. The way that we are going to cleanse our liver naturally is without putting protein, fat, or anything that's a grain in our bodies before lunchtime. But that's a great question. What we are looking for is to use the life force of these foods, the lemon and the fruit specifically, to pull out toxins from the liver. Okay? Thank you for asking that, Stacy. Try not to change the protocol of the smoothies. Now, you can have a different smoothie that is P10 approved when you click on that Perfect 10 recipe book, but we can do anything for 3 days. Heck, we can do anything for 10 days. It's typically after 10 days that's where people need help. They need somebody like me who's, that's what I do for a living, gang. The reason why I've had this is set up is because this is not intermittent fasting, right? If we would fast, we wouldn't have protein powder. This is a different type of a fast. It is a cleanse. You are cleansing your body to heal the liver, to remove toxins from the liver. So that's why, if you're a coffee drinker for 10 days, did you know that your Starbucks, your Dunkin' Donuts has up to 70 pesticides, fungicides, and herbicides in it? Yeah, I know. It's okay. But I'm asking you to go organic for the next several days, because what this is going to do, your liver is going to start to function at a fever pitch. This is why the average weight loss is 6 pounds in the first 10 days of Perfect 10, because people start to give up things that have mold in it, that their liver doesn't have to process anymore. How cool is that? When you're like, you mean I just have to have organic coffee? And I talk about with coffee specifically, you can have raw honey in your coffee or real maple syrup. People are like, well, what about my creamer? I know we like to negotiate, but this could be huge for you if you say, I'm going to lean into this pinchy part. I'm going to lean into it to show myself, to show that young girl that she can do tough stuff. She can give up that coffee creamer. Remember, I'm not asking you to, let's say, go buy me a Ferrari right now, right? I'm not asking you that much. I'm saying, hey, follow this protocol. Let me prove to you, prove to that young girl, prove to your teenage girl, prove to the mirror reflection that you can do hard things by just saying, no, thank you. No, thank you to that creamer right now. I'm going to go organic, follow the protocol, and to give my liver that break that she needs for a little bit. Thank you for asking that, Stacy. I appreciate that. Typically on these types of coaching calls, it's not that I want to say no, right? No, you can't have it. It's a matter of I want to be for real with you, and that protocol was designed specifically to do as a cleanse. Now, let's say before lunch you're so hungry that you could have another piece of fruit. Fruit has been vilified in our culture, and if you can just allow yourself to try this protocol in the morning, again, making sure that you don't have a special condition like type 2 diabetic, that sort of thing. Try the protocol, see how it works for you. See how you start to feel on this. Now, the other foods are all whole foods. Things that I would say are on the avoid list over the next 10 days would be things that are processed. Right now, we are avoiding like protein powder in our smoothie. Now, I do have exceptions in here. Let's say you're a vegetarian. You're like, how am I going to get protein in for the rest of the day? You could be the exception to the rule. If you're not a vegetarian, then you can choose these whole food sources like wild-caught fish, grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Do the best that you can. If you're like, Aubrey, I don't have the money to buy organic, I want you to get Whole Foods. Yeah. And take it from there. Whole Foods, maybe you're used to going through Chick-fil-A, something like that. Let's start to prepare this. And believe me, you are going to notice a huge difference in the energy behind the food. Okay. You will see as a part of your structured plan that we're doing our gratitude, our exercises, we're starting our day with a morning ritual, we have some healthy foods throughout the day, and then we have a bedtime ritual. So this whole protocol, we're detoxing our environment. I just put 10 minutes before bed because it's perfect 10. Try to get in bed by 10. Try to detox your environment 10 minutes before you go to sleep. No phones, no TV. It will improve your deep sleep. These things are important if you're looking to balance your mindset, improve your mood, and your hormones. All right, gang. I promised you 4% of your day, and I am about at 4%. So I want to save the rest for tomorrow, that we're going to be focusing on the perfect 10 asset. Today we talked about how you're going to close that gap. We did that visualization. You got some homework to do tonight, so make sure you drop in the comments yes if this is crystal clear. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put that in the comments too. You will see that pinned post where I want to see your stop. I am a perfect 10, and post them all over the house, right? Wherever you want to go. Help retrain your brain. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, gals, for showing up today.
Quick questions.
Quick questions.
Store brand organic coffee okay? Store brand organic coffee okay?
Yes, there was a question. Is store brand organic coffee okay? That is a great place to start. Heck yeah. Also in the P10 manual, I do list links to my favorite coffees for future reference, that you can click on those links and do your own research, see for yourself. But yeah, Target does have some organic coffees. I don't know if, it depends on where you guys are, but we have a grocery store called Giant Eagle here. I don't think they have a lot of organic, but Target does.
Do they make organic K-Cups? Do you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the organic K-Cups can be found on Amazon. I know Amazon is getting a lot of bad press lately about dupes. So I just have to bring your awareness to that. But if you go on Amazon, San Francisco Blend has some K-Cups that are organic, but put in organic K-Cups, or you can use your reusable K-Cup and you could put organic coffee in there. So we swapped out our Keurig for espresso makers. That's what we do. We swapped that out. We swapped out our microwave even for an air fryer. So, okay, some more questions.
Jessie was just saying she went back and did this protocol recently, and she noticed she didn't have any more afternoon slump and had amazing energy. So.
Oh, thank you, Jessie. I'm so glad that you had success with that. So Dan just read me Jessie's comments, and hello, Jessie. I'm so glad to hear from you. I need to reach out to you to see what's going on in your world. I know you're kicking butt, taking names. I hope the family's doing good. But she talked about she went back to do this protocol as like a tune-up, and it was able to revitalize her energy in the afternoon. So can we give her some snaps? Heck yeah, we want to celebrate that. Anything else in our feed here?
That's it for now.
That is it for now. Gang, thank you for showing up on this live. If you are catching it on the replay, again, post in the comments, #replay. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time and your commitment to going through this protocol. And I will look forward to seeing you here, same time, same place, tomorrow, noon Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to go over the perfect 10 assets. We're going to go over exercises. Heck, I think we should be in the kitchen doing some stuff. We're going to go back over that trifecta of contractions. And then later this week, we are going to be hearing from some of my one-on-one clients and all their successes, because I think those are my favorite days that lie ahead. All right, guys, I can't wait to see your homework that you post. Talk to you soon. Ciao for now. Bye, everybody.